Bow. What up, y'all? Want to welcome y'all back to another episode of the Trifecta Podcast. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and turn the notification button on, man. We give you guys content after content after content. But today's episode, we're going into the NBA draft, and I'm going to talk about 4 players in particular. These are 4 players that I think will absolutely thrive in today's NBA, that I think have a bright future, and some of them may have even slipped in the draft, man. So we're going to talk about these 4 guys. Let's get into this content. Once again, like, comment, subscribe. Tune into your boy Rondo at the Trifecta Podcast. So next up, we got Rob Dillingham, my guy. So he went to Minnesota at the number 8 pick. All right, he's 6'1", 176. But I seen him report that he was actually like 164. So we knew this already. Not his weight, but we knew he was slight. He's very skinny. We understand this already. Still had a very good college career. All right, so for his 1 year at Kentucky, he averaged 15 points per game, 4 assists, shot 47.5% from the field, 44 from 3. All right, he had a 56.4 effective field goal percentage, 29.7 assist percentage, which is second in the SEC. So he has it all on the offensive end, in my opinion. All right, we get it. His measurements aren't great. He's very small for a guy in 2024 to be in the NBA draft. We get it, but his production speaks for itself, all right? His per 40 minutes per game stats are off the charts. I think he's be averaging 26 points per game and around 6-7 assists per 40 minutes. He only played about 23 minutes per game at Kentucky, coming off the bench, all right? So a really good prospect, man. Really good production at Kentucky. He had 124 assists on the season to 68 turnovers. That's a 1.82 assist to turnover ratio, which is great, all right? That shows you he could be a lead guard, man. Granted, at Kentucky, he was pretty much like a microwave scorer. And I think in the NBA, that'll pretty much be his role. But he's shown the flashes and the potential to be a guy that can be in the 6 or 7 assists per game range, all right? So I think he'll be able to do that, especially in Minnesota and playing behind Mike Conley. Mike Conley could kind of be his vet, take him under his wing. And then he got Ant-Man, all right? He doesn't have to be the main scorer. He could just be the main initiator for Ant-Man. And get his shots off as well, man. I really like that pairing of Ant-Man and Rob Dillingham. For strengths, as I mentioned before, all-around offensive prospect. He's quick, best ball handler in the draft by far. Shooting off the catch, shooting off the dribble. I mean, this guy has it all, man, for a lead guard in the NBA. But he's very crafty at the rim as well. He can finish. He's really aggressive finishing at the basket. He doesn't shy away from contact. He goes into guys despite his height, despite his weight. Really good at getting to the basket, man. He actually averaged 3.4 2-point makes per game, which is really good. So that's mid-range and getting to the basket. So he's not just a 3-point shooter. He's going to get to the basket. He's going to go by guys, getting in the middle. Has a nice little mid-range game as well. Really good overall prospect, man. Fearless going to the hoop, has no fear. Kind of in like a John Morant type of way, just not as athletic. But he's going to get to the basket, man. He's going to finish. He's going to get foul calls. All that good stuff, man. He's a blur in transition. That goes back to his quickness. Very quick on the ball, off the ball. Very good. So the thing with him that separates Rob Dillingham is the ability to catch and shoot, all right? A lot of players with his skill set are really just like on-ball shooters, all right? They're guys that need to create for themselves in order to get off. That's not Rob, all right? Yes, he has that ability, but he can also play off the ball. He can also catch and shoot, all right? 44% from 3. About half of those were just off catch and shoots alone, all right? So offensively, man, he has it all. So Rob has shown some nice pick and roll playmaking chops as well, all right? A lot of times he would get around the big and hedge and recover situations, find the guys on the roll, or get around the big and just score for himself in the mid-range, all right? He's really good at that, and that's really due to his quickness on the ball. But some downsides for Rob, I think it's pretty obvious. His size, 6'1", 176, or 160, whatever he is. Not great measurements. He's going to have to get bigger, obviously, get stronger, and he's going to have to be better defensively, all right? He's not a great defender right now. He's just kind of small. Physicality is something that he's going to struggle with, especially on the defensive end. I think offensively, he'll be fine for the most part, but defensively, he's going to get posted up a lot. He's going to get bullied a lot by these bigger guards, so he's going to have to get stronger, obviously, all right? But he is really quick, so if he could just move his feet well and get bigger naturally, as he gets, more years in the league, I think he'll be decent. I don't think he'll be a liability per se. Maybe like a Kyrie Irving type of defender where he's serviceable, but he can't be a main defender, of course. But, man, overall, man, I really like Rob in terms of player comps. A lot of people say Darius Garland. I see that, but I really see like a Brandon Jennings with him. All right, I see him as a lead guard that can get buckets and be a good assist guy. And I think gradually that he gets better and he kind of takes that starting role from Mike Conley. I think he could be a 22-7 type of guy, 23-8 type of guy. I can see that in his future for sure, man. He has a lot of upside as well, and I really like this pick for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And just really quick, since we're on the Minnesota Timberwolves, I like their pick at number 27. I didn't do a whole deep dive on this, but Terrence Shannon Jr. out of Illinois, I think that's a really good pickup at the back end of the first round, man. He's 6'6", 215. He averaged 23 a game. He's one of the best scorers in college basketball. 47% from the field, 36 from three. 7 free throws made per game. So he's very aggressive on the ball, get into the basket, he can shoot. He has a nice handle as well. He made 7 free throws made per game. All right, so he's not just a one-dimensional offensive player. He's getting to the basket, he's shooting threes, has a nice off-the-dribble game as well, nice hezzy pull-up, very aggressive, very physical. He's 6'6". I mean, he's a freak athlete as well, very athletic. You actually see that on the defensive end as well. Gets a lot of blocks, lots of steals, plays the passing lane really well, and throw down these nasty-ass dunks, man. Really, really good prospect, man. Especially at number 27, that's a great value pick at the back end of the first round. All right, so next up, we got Dalton Knecht. All right, he was a number 17 pick. He went to the Los Angeles Lakers. He's 6'6", 213. He averaged 21.7 points per game, 5 rebounds, 46% from the field, 39 from three. All right, this is the guy out of Tennessee. He led his team to the, I believe, Elite 8 or maybe Final 4 versus Purdue, where they did, eventually lose. But he was the main guy, man, one of the best players in college basketball. So he had a 57% true shooter percentage. He had a 100 defensive rating and a 117 offensive rating. So overall, 17 net rating, all right? The 100 defensive rating tells me that he can move his feet a little bit, man. He has the size, he has the overall athleticism to stay in front of bigger guys. Now, the quicker guys may be a little bit of a problem for him, but, he's going to come into the NBA as a shooter. We all have our preconceived notions about some of these guys coming to the league. We know he's going to be a shooter, but we think he's going to be a bad defender just based off his appearance, right? But, 100 defensive rating kind of speaks for itself, all right? He can move his feet a little bit. He has the size. He has an overall competitive spirit to be a decent defender in the NBA. He's no slouch whatsoever. First usage percentage at 32% in the SEC. He made 93 three-pointers this season. So, really good prospect, man. I don't know how he fell so far. They say it was due to his age, him being like 22, 23. But that was never a determining factor for me if I was the GM. Guys who have talent, they have talent. Like, I'm picking those guys, especially for a team like the Lakers who are trying to win now. He could be a guy that could be in your rotation like today. Like, what's today? July 3rd? He could be in your rotation right now. He could have been in your rotation last season, especially with JJ Redick as a coach. I just imagine having him come around a bunch of screens, man, floppy actions, down screens, a little 77 action where he could be the first screener. And he's really, really good off the bounce. He's not just a shooter. He gets to the line frequently as well, very crafty. He's a pretty good athlete as well. He's thrown down some pretty good two-hand dunks. He's shown some power, some overall athleticism that'll translate to the NBA, in my opinion. So while watching this film, I noticed a lot of times where he did get beat, he's able to recover and block shots. All right, that shows maybe he doesn't have the initial foot speed, but he has the competitive will and the length and athleticism to recover and still make it difficult for those offensive guys on those shots. Granted, that won't always work in the NBA. This is the best of the best in the world, so he's going to have to move his feet a little bit better, especially containing the first dribble. Watching some of his film, that was probably the biggest thing on defense. He didn't contain the first dribble all that well, but his recovery was, essentially pretty good. That's why he's able to get those blocks. So I really like this prospect, man, especially at number 17. Some disadvantages for Dalton Knecht. He's slower-footed. We just mentioned that as well, kind of with that first step and that first dribble, containing that first dribble for him. He plays a little bit too upright for my liking, at least on the offensive end. So specifically, off the bounce, him having the ball in his hand, being a self-creator, I think he plays a little bit too upright, which is going to make it harder for him to blow by guys and get kind of his separation that's needed. At this level, man, These guys are top-tier athletes. Dr. Knecht will not be a top-tier athlete in the NBA. He'll be more so average. He's going to have something to be able to make him get his shot off, or else he's just going to be a pretty much shooter. There's nothing wrong with that, but he has a lot more upside than that just watching this tape. So overall, man, I'm going to say this a million times, man, this is a great pickup, and I think this is the steal of the draft. All right, at the number 17th pick, he was like a top 10 pick projected. This is great value for a team that needs this shooting overall, man. So I really like Dr. Knecht. In terms of a comp for Dr. Knecht, I kind of say like a Wally Szczerbiak. So if you guys know who that is, he played on the Minnesota Timberwolves a long time ago. Even I was young when he was on the team, but I played a lot of like NBA Live and stuff like that. So I know a few other players like that, man, some of the older guys. But man, really good shooter. And he has the upside to be more than a Wally Szczerbiak. He has the upside to be a decent shot creator and be a second side creator maybe in his future, man. We don't know. But, man, what I do know is I like the pick, and I think he's going to be a useful player this year and for years to come. So, man, that concludes my overall draft analysis of the 4 guys that I think are going to have a pretty successful career. Including that Terrence Shannon Jr. one, which I really like for the Minnesota Timberwolves, man. I really like all these guys, man. I think they're going to have thriving careers and be in the NBA for a really long time, man. But I will do another draft analysis of some of the picks that I didn't necessarily like. I have about 3 guys in mind, so be on the lookout for that. But overall, man, thank you guys for tuning in. All right, the Trifecta Podcast. My name is Rondo, and I'm out.